All right, Jake, let's go on and move on over to the NBA with some big news out of Milwaukee. The Bucks have inked the Greek Freak to a 5-year, $228 million Supermax contract extension, the largest now in NBA history. Giannis is, of course, the two-time defending NBA MVP and the 2019-2020 Defensive Player of the Year. He's led the Bucks to top positions in the Eastern Conference regular seasons in the last 2 seasons. In 2020, he averaged 29.5 points, 13.6 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game in 63 games started. The Bucks will be put away 4-1 in the second round of the 2020 playoffs, and they go ahead and they spent this offseason adding pieces like Drew Holiday around Giannis. So, Drink, maybe a little unexpected with a year left, but definitely a huge move for the franchise. If you were Giannis, would you have signed it this year or waited another season?
Oh, before I get to that, I just want to say, show me the money. If I was Giannis, I probably would have waited. I need to know that these guys are going to be able to give me. I guess it's a double-edged sword, right? If I would have waited, hoping they could show me a little more. I would like to see a little more than Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is a good start, but I'd like to see a little more. We thought we was going to get the guy with 2 first names. We thought we was going to get old Boyan. Boyan, you know, he ends up going back, and he ends up signing with the Atlanta Hawks. So I still need to see more, but then I have to think, well, how can they sign more people if they don't know I'm going to stay? They're not going to build a team around a guy that might leave. So I can only control what I can control. Boom, here's the deal. I'm going to sign the Super Max. Well, now I sign. Now you have no excuse to get me a better team because it's make or break for all of us. It's make or break for me. It's make or break for Budenholz. It's make or break for the GM. It's make or break. It's a lot of cats on here. Middleton. We all got to make this happen, right? But with that said, Giannis, you just signed the richest contract in the NBA, and I understand it's the NBA. Contracts go up every, but with COVID going around, people are looking at this contract like, man, this is wild. COVID just happened. Milwaukee didn't make as much money as they usually make on the calendar year. And they still broke the bank to bring you back. So with that said, if I'm Milwaukee, hey, Giannis, look, we give you some pieces, but we're going to need you to do a little more with less. We can't pay you and just sign other people either. So we gave you the Supermax. You signed the contract. You're a smart enough guy to know we need you to do a little more with less. And listen, this contract has put all the pressure on Giannis. I don't care what you think. When you sign a contract like this is number 1 player in the world money here. This is top 5 player in the world money here, And we're going to need you to play like it. 2-time MVP, I got all that good jazz. Yeah, that sounds good, but they ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea in China. And we're going to need you to get on the court and make it happen right damn now. So it's good for both ways. Milwaukee got some well-needed insurances with him signing it. Giannis then did his part. He got a nice compensated contract for signing it. And now we have to see where they go from here. But here's the deal. I don't want to sound like a Milwaukee hater and bust the balloon, but listen, we know the deal with these max contracts as well. A player can sign a max contract. Cool. But if you ain't doing right by this player once that contract start, they will sit on that bench. And they will say, hey, when you show me something, I'll be back. Look, you know what I'm saying? Look at LeBron. Look at James Harden. Look at Kevin Durant.
He can't be traded this year by rule, but next year, Paul George did it. He signed a max, and then he was gone the next season.
So I'm telling you, it happens. The only thing I would say in the benefit of Milwaukee is Giannis is a European-born star and not an American-born star. And look, Americans, don't beat me up. I'm not trying to say, we divas. But you guys in the NBA, y'all kind of some divas. So, you know what I'm saying? Europeans are a little more loyal. When they come through and they get that first 100 mil or whatever, they're like, Mommy, Daddy. They fall in love with the owners, and that's that. They only drop one spot. So that's that. And so with Giannis getting this money, I think he's loyal to the Bucks. We just need to see what the Bucks can do to show they're loyal to him, and then we'll see from now. As it currently stands, Bucks, we need one more piece. I got it. You spent all this money. You got You need another shooter. You didn't get the guy. We need to bring in another shooter. I hear Danny Green might be on the market. Yeah, I know, Danny Green, whoop-de-whoop. But for the amount of money that they have to spend and for what he can do, I think he could be a good fit for Milwaukee if the Lakers don't snatch him back up. That is. So, you're looking for a piece like that, insulated piece in the free agency like that to kind of tie this, and we'll see. But Giannis, hey, the heat is up in the kitchen, and if you can't take it, you might want to leave, buddy, because it's about to go down. You getting, like I said, I want to end it on this. You getting best player in the world money, so we need to see best player in the world performance. That's all I'm saying. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'll pick up where you left off there. If you look at their depth chart right now, it is Drew Holiday, Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brooke Lopez. I think that starting five, in theory, can win a championship. The pieces behind it, they did that. DJ Augustin, Bobby Portis are two big pickups they had this offseason. Pat Connaughton's a guy that can come off the bench and do some stuff for you. But after that, there's not much else, and it looks like a team that's a little better equipped in the playoffs than they were this past season. But again, the question for the Bucks isn't the regular season. I mean, Giannis has already proven they can absolutely smoke everyone in the regular season. I mean, they've been atop the Eastern Conference the last 2 years. Hadn't really been close either. But the problem is in the playoffs that Giannis and crew are coming up short, and they've tried to rectify that. So, first of all, I do like the contract a lot from the perspective of the NBA and for the Bucks. I think it's really good when teams sign their homegrown stars. You draft a kid, he turns into an all-world player, you ink him to a big contract. The whole Super Max idea is that you can give your guy more than anyone else can give him. I think I like the rule by the NBA. I don't know if it's had quite the impact the NBA wanted it to have with guys staying where they are. I'll give you the quick list here. These are all the guys on current Super Max, not Max, but Super Max contracts, is in that extra benefit. You have Steph, Dame, Harden, Paul George, Giannis, Wall, and Westbrook. I mean, Wall and Westbrook just got traded for each other. Paul George has been traded like 8 times in the last few years. Harden is literally, in there,
trying to get
on the
traded.
owner's desk, trying to get traded.
He wants to get traded.
So of them, Damian Lillard, Steph, and Giannis are the only 3 that have been kind of staying put. We don't really know about Giannis after the season still if things kind of go awry. By the way, Steph's the only person out of that group to have any rings, so take that for what it is. But that's just this little side nugget there. But I think that what it does for Giannis is it removes the distractions. I think the talk of, are you staying, are you leaving? I don't know if he wanted to do that for a whole year. He was probably getting sick of it already. So it was good to go ahead and get that kind of monkey off his back. He gets this contract. Hey, I signed it. I'm here. Will you leave me alone now? And there's no reason to knock someone for getting paid $228 million to play basketball, right? I mean, let's keep our perspective from what I'm about to say here. But I do agree that it is a little questionable. I think that another option he could have had is signing a 1-1. We've seen guys like LeBron do this. Kawhi just did it with the Clippers. Because what he lost was his bargaining chip over the Bucks. Now they still have a lot of pressure. The management is still going to try to win. But they just went out and traded half of their draft for the next decade for Drew Holiday. And they tried to get Bogdanović before that trade fell through, which I guess you don't ask the guy you're trading about if he wants to be traded. That doesn't work. Who knew? But regardless of, they went out and they were going for broke to keep Giannis around because they figured they had to do that. Well, now they don't have to do that anymore. And we know these teams, again, I talked about this before, thinking like an owner, thinking like a fan. Owners, now that Giannis is here for 5 years, he's going to sell tickets and put fannies in seats. It's going to happen regardless now. But they can build a routine contender. Any team with Giannis is going to be a routine contender. But are they truly going to be a team that's going to win a title or become close to winning a title every season? And that's a little more questionable. And now that Giannis doesn't have that utmost pressure and that looming threat of, hey, you screw this up, I'm out. I mean, other stars have leveraged this with great success. And Giannis really isn't a guy that has that injury factor. Some people would say some guys would want to get paid. A guy like Paul George, that's smart. Go ahead and get your max, because we don't know how good you're going to be. But a guy like Giannis, you wonder, maybe – does he need to do that? He's a durable player. There's nothing wrong with that. You could also give me the COVID, the salary cap issues, the uncertainty. But we all know that after this year, the COVID thing's going to pass. The vaccine's rolling out. It's going to be a 1-year dip, and then it's going to jump back up. So probably not all that much for me.
That's, you know what you saying that, and that makes a lot of sense. I didn't even think about it like that. But you can pay him, go in the dip, go in the hole or whatever the phrase they use, and then just come back and recuperate that money down the road by paying him, because once they open arenas back up, now you got the ticket seller. You got them locked in. You can go. So that's a good point, because I'm so focused on the numbers going down that I'm not thinking they won't be down for long. They'll come right back up, and you did what you need to do while the numbers was down. So that way, when they come back up, you still in the green per se.
Right. And it's good, I think, for these smaller teams. I think it's one of the problems the NBA has had is over the last 5 years, think about the parity issues. I mean, it's whatever team LeBron's on and the Warriors. And if any of the Warriors, there's only two other teams that have really been competitive. I mean, it's been very dominant as far as the top of the NBA, and these small markets have really suffered. It seems like Charlotte and Sacramento that have just wallered in mediocrity or even worse. And Milwaukee hasn't been that because they landed with Giannis and they got a guy that could be a legitimate two-way superstar in the NBA. But I think that it's good that teams like this are having some more success with keeping these players around, because it does add parity. I mean, if you don't have the Bucks, that's just one less team in the East. So I like it from everyone's perspective except maybe Giannis, because again, he's lost that big bargaining chip, and yeah, he can force his way out with a trade, but that's not really the same as, hey, I'm going to walk for nothing. That scares teams. I mean, that really does, because again, if you're the Milwaukee owners and you see Giannis, the danger of him leaving, you think about empty arenas for the next 3 or 4 seasons, and all the problems these small markets have generating revenue. Well, Giannis is going to make his contract back money, like you said, but if he has that looming over them, it's a different story. So I would have, at least if I was Giannis, probably waited until the end of the season. I would like to have seen how this iteration is going to go. I do like the starting 5 lineup, but I'm a little concerned because Drew Holiday is a really good player. I like him. He's great and all. But is he a monumental seismic upgrade from what Eric Bledsoe could give you? I mean, he's better. I'm not going to argue that. But
especially offensively,
if you look at
for
the
sure.
numbers, right? I mean, if you look at the numbers, he's at least 8 or so more points, 6 more points, depending on what the averages are. He's probably a little bit better defensively, but Bledsoe's no slouch on defense. Was this enough to really get you over in the East and all those other teams getting better? And if this doesn't win you a championship, Drew Holiday's going to get paid soon. He's going to be knocking on the door for his max. I mean, and you also think about their ages. Middleton's not a spring chicken. I mean, Brook Lopez, I think, might be, 31, 32.
Mm-hmm.
There's this team, and even Holiday's not young either. So, I mean, Giannis's year is 4 or 5 years behind most of these players. So by the time he's coming to the end of this contract, both these guys are going to be older, getting on out of here. So it's a risky for Giannis, but again, like you said, man, $228 million. You can't knock a guy for wanting to get that. He gets paid. His family is taken care of for 5 generations to come. And, maybe that's what he was thinking about. And he wanted to be loyal to his franchise. And I think that we spend so much time knocking guys for when they leave, like LeBron's and KD's when they leave. But then when guys stay, they're like, well, I wasn't good either. Well, what are they supposed to do? So,
exactly.
yeah, I think there's some risk. I think maybe I would have played it a little different, but overall, he gets paid, and the Bucks get their guy for 5 years. So, yeah.